Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know, we've spent all this time looking at Democrats shoving their head in the sand. We've been talking about how delusional and blind they seem to be. They can't see the writing on the wall. But I gotta be as fair as possible here, and I gotta tell ya, it's not just the Democrats. Of course, the Democrats are the worst offenders, but it's not just them who are living in a world of make-believe, a delusional, totally in denial state. No, it's not just the Democrats. I guess it's the rhinos too. It's the Never-Trumpers, who clearly are struggling to get with the times, and boy do I have the perfect example for you. Prototypical rhino, Paul Ryan, seems to be right there with them, but unfortunately for little Polly boy here, he got absolutely wrecked, called out on his nonsense, live on TV for millions to see. I guess it's not just the delusional left, it's also the delusional fake right that's got their heads so far shoved up their behinds. It seems as though Paul Ryan's brain is stuck in 2016, poor guy. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on, but this video is actually brought to you guys by a sponsor, so let's play that clip. This video is brought to you by Ground News. Listen friends, if you're like me and you're tired of all the biased headlines, all the selective reporting from the mainstream media, this is the website for you. Ground News is the ultimate news aggregator, and the service they provide goes well beyond that, as they've developed all kinds of systems on their website that allows you to see the news, see the headlines from every political vantage point, from left, right, or center. And it's all in one place. And the best tool they've got for seeing this is their amazing blind spot tool. Just take a look here, you'll see all these headlines, and at the bottom you got a meter showing you whether right-wing sources or left-wing sources are covering the story or whether they're ignoring it. Essentially, you get to see the news that the lamestream media doesn't want you to see, or is purposely or conveniently ignoring. Take a look at this headline, for instance. We've got Fetterman calling for action on immigration enforcement, as well as addressing Democrats' concern over the Lake and Riley Act. It's a big story, a big call for change within the left, and only 12% of the outlets reporting it are left-wing sources. Like I said, folks, you get to see the bias, you get to see the news from every angle. This is what Ground News does. This is what their blind spot feed does for you. I gotta tell you, it's a great product and I've been using it for quite some time at this point, and here's the pitch. If you want to take advantage of Ground News and their amazing tools, well then simply click the link down below in the description, or go to ground.news/hivemind, or even scan the QR code right on screen, and you can take advantage of this exclusive promotion for 40% off their Vantage Plan subscription. Go ahead, take a look. A huge thank you to Ground News. Now back to the video. Okay, so I gotta tell you, this is an absolute gem. Never-Trumper Paul Ryan shows up on CNBC and literally gets called a Democrat to his face. Take a look at this.
So now you're calling for unity.
I am calling for unity.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Would have been nice before the election.
He won. Look, he won.
And the other thing I thought was funny that you said was when you said, hey, look, I want Trump to succeed. You know who that sounds like? It sounds like a Democrat. It sounds like a Democrat saying,
well,
you know
I hope
what?
the Democrats sound like that.
Well, of course you want Trump to succeed. You're a Republican.
Here, look, I'm a conservative Republican. I'm a free market, limited government.
No, but you know what I'm saying. That's who I hear.
Yeah, but my brand of
things.
conservatism doesn't always overlap with Trump populism.
I understand, but it was binary. But you know, we argued about that.
I know we argued. I don't know.
Binary all along. It was always binary. And a vote not for Trump was a vote for Kamala Harris. Can you imagine?
I know you want to get back to this. Huh? Here's the point. A lot of this agenda, my kind of conservatism, Trump populism, it overlaps.
Okay.
We disagree on trade and things like that. I'm not with trade fights on China, but
right.
I'm not a big fan of all the tariffs on our allies. But the point is, all this other stuff, the tax policy, the border policy, the deregulatory policy, very good for America, very good for the economy.
Don't sacrifice the good for the perfect.
It only gets done if Republicans stay unified. And I think it's important that Republicans stay unified.
Okay.
Now, while that was a hilarious moment on the surface, and while I doubt Paul Ryan was expecting someone to come after him this hard, let's dig into this because there's actually a lot to unpack. Paul Ryan spent years sabotaging Trump and his agenda, and now he's trying to show up in this little media tour with unity talk. But nobody frickin' believes this guy. His credibility, his reputation is shot, and his approach here is obviously disingenuous, and that's why he gets completely called out. And I think the challenge was perfect. Paul, you're acting like a frickin' Democrat. The guy's totally delusional. Oh, well, I hope Donald Trump does well. We're all hoping he does right for the country. Buddy, you're a frickin' Republican. What are you talking about? You know, it's crazy. The delusion is just insane how these Republican in name only clowns, these Never-Trumpers, just like the Democrats, are grabbing onto that 2016 shtick. You know, I guess Paul Ryan has deluded himself into thinking that this whole Republicans for Harris thing, this whole Never-Trump Republican phenomenon still exists. It doesn't, at least it hardly does, despite the Democrats' efforts into manufacturing that narrative. There's a clear mandate now. We're not in 2017 anymore. Donald Trump has proven himself. He's got the track record. He's got the grassroots support behind him. He's got the policies. He's got it all. And he's going in stronger than ever before. But Paul Ryan either can't see it or he just can't do it. And that's why he comes off so incredibly disingenuous. Even when he's feigning support for this administration, a literal Republican showing up on the news claiming he hopes that the Republican does well by the country. What an absolute clown. It's obvious. These career politicians have learnt nothing. And it's also obvious to me that the Rhino playbook, well, it hasn't changed at all. Just pretend to be conservative, get elected, and then spend all your time undermining the people who actually want to fight for America First policies. You know, these people claim to be Republicans, but their actions show time and time again that they're more interested in maintaining their cozy little establishment club than actually serving the American people. And you know, it's funny, or I guess what's kind of ironic, is that's the exact reason why Donald Trump won in the first place, because he exposed these exact people for who and what they are. And over the years, people have started to see through the Paul Ryans, the Mitch McConnells, the McCains of the world. And I gotta say, boy, how times have changed. As we're now seeing these fake losers get called out to their face, you know, the times are changing and they're failing to adapt. And that's what I think is the real kicker here. The classic playbook just isn't working anymore. The new GOP, after all the changes over the last 8 years, is no longer made up of a bunch of Mitt Romney-style boomers. It's a coalition of moderates, independents, working-class voters, and even some former Democrats and young people. Trump has broadened the tent by speaking directly to the issues that matter to people. That's jobs, immigration, crime, and putting America first. And meanwhile, the Democrats, and of course their rhino friends like the Cheneys and their ilk, are stuck playing the same tired freaking game. And it's backfiring so spectacularly in their face. And what's funny is that these people are so utterly confused. I don't think Paul Ryan was expecting to be called a Democrat today, but alas, it's 2025. And so now we've got Paul Ryan, the poster boy for everything wrong with the old GOP, sitting on CNBC trying to play nice and call for unity, I guess thinking we forgot that he was one of the biggest obstacles standing in front of Donald Trump's success during his first term. It's pathetic, and it's why people don't take this guy seriously anymore. Paul Ryan spent half as much time fighting for Trump's agenda as he did trying to distance himself from Trump. Well, you know, he'd probably still be in Congress, and best of all, he might have actually accomplished something. But instead, he chose the path of sabotage, and now he's left trying to rewrite history while getting absolutely roasted on live TV. In conclusion, Paul Ryan's little CNBC moment here, in my view, is emblematic of the end of the establishment GOP. The rhinos had their chance, and they frickin' blew it. And now, unfortunately for them, as the times have changed, everybody, I mean pretty much everybody who's not a blue anon shill, sees right through their act. We're not buying it, and it's just such an utter embarrassment. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Paul Ryan gets absolutely destroyed on CNBC. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.